The memory of your true home is not lost, merely buried. It whispers to you in moments of profound silence, in the inexplicable longing you feel when gazing at a star-filled sky, in the sense that there is something more, something vast and eternal that you were once a part of. This feeling isn't a fantasy. It is an echo of your origin, a homing signal from the deepest core of your being. We spend our lives navigating the complexities of this material world, building careers, raising families, and facing challenges, all while this quiet, persistent echo reminds us that this earthly experience, as real as it feels, is but a single chapter in an immense cosmic saga. We are travelers in a foreign land, and the story of how we embarked on this journey, the reason for our voyage, has been chronicled by one of the most remarkable mystics of the 20th century. Through the lens of Edgar Cayce's profound psychic readings, we are about to pull back the veil and explore the breathtaking panorama of the soul's descent from a state of pure oneness with the divine into the dense, tangible reality we now call life. Before we embark on this incredible journey through time and spirit, if you are seeking to understand the deeper currents of your existence and find wisdom for your own spiritual path, take a moment now to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue unearthing these profound truths and sharing them with a world that is hungry for meaning. Join our community of seekers as we piece together the grand puzzle of our existence. The narrative of our origin, as illuminated by the Edgar Cayce material, does not begin with a big bang or the primordial ooze. It begins in a state of being that is almost beyond our current comprehension. Imagine a realm not of matter, but of pure consciousness, a boundless ocean of thought, energy, and love that is the creative force or God. In this state of absolute unity, we existed. We were not yet individual souls in the way we think of ourselves now, but rather, we were companions to the divine, co-creators, individual sparks within the singular, magnificent flame of God. We were beings of light and vibration, our essence woven into the very fabric of the cosmos. There was no separation, no you and me in the way we experience it today, only a harmonious we participating in the divine symphony of creation. Our primary nature was spirit, and our primary function was to be channels for the divine will, expressing the creative impulse in myriad non-physical ways. This was our heritage, our natural state, to exist in a perpetual dance of creation and companionship with our source. The fundamental attribute gifted to these soul sparks was free will. This was not a minor feature, it was the engine of all subsequent experience. The ability to choose to direct one's own consciousness was the ultimate expression of the Creator's love, a love so complete that it allowed for the possibility of its creations choosing a path separate from its own. And in the timeless expanse of eternity, a new desire began to stir within these brilliant companions. It was the desire to know the self, not just as a part of the whole, but as an individual entity. It was a curiosity about what it would be like to experience creation, not just as a seamless extension of the divine, but from a unique, self-aware perspective. This was not a rebellion born of malice, but rather an impulse of self-discovery. The souls began to focus their creative energies inward, exploring their own individuality, their own power. They began to create for the sake of their own glorification rather than as a pure expression of divine will. This subtle shift in focus, this burgeoning self-centeredness, was the first step away from unity. It was the moment the dance faltered, and the individual notes began to seek their own melody outside the grand symphony. This turning inward created a form of spiritual friction, a dissonance. As souls poured their creative force into manifesting their own desires, they began to work with denser and denser vibrations. They were experimenting with the laws of cause and effect on a cosmic scale. This process of self-glorification and experimentation with lower vibrational energies is what Cayce's readings describe as the fall of the angels, or the rebellion. It was not a singular event, but a gradual process of entanglement. The souls, in their quest for self-knowledge, began to immerse themselves in their own creations. They found themselves increasingly captivated by the sensory experiences they could generate, moving further and further from the subtle, purely spiritual awareness that was their birthright. They were like artists who fell so in love with the paint and canvas that they forgot they were the artists and began to believe they were the painting. This growing entanglement in these self-created patterns of lower vibration began to crystallize, to take on form. The spiritual essence of the souls was becoming trapped, encased in layers of their own making. Seeing that his companions were becoming lost in their own creations, ensnared in the dense vibrations of self-interest, the creative force conceived of a grand solution. This solution was not a punishment, but an act of profound compassion. A new arena of experience would be created, a perfect learning environment where the laws of cause and effect were tangible and unavoidable. This arena was the material universe. Our solar system, our sun, our moon, and our planet Earth were not random cosmic accidents. According to Cayce, they were intentionally designed and brought into being as a stage, a divine schoolhouse for the wayward souls. Earth in particular, with its unique balance of elements and its capacity to support complex life, was fashioned as the ultimate classroom. Here, the consequences of one's choices, the spiritual law of karma, would be made manifest in physical reality. Here, in a world of duality, of light and shadow, of joy and sorrow, the soul could experience the full spectrum of its own creations and, through that experience, learn the lessons needed to find its way back to wholeness and unity with the Creator. The material world was not a prison. It was a pathway to redemption, a structured curriculum designed to awaken the soul from its self-imposed slumber. The entry of souls into this new material plane was a gradual and complex process. It did not happen all at once. The first soul to volunteer for this immense task, to lead the way into the dense physicality of Earth and chart a course back to the light, was a great soul entity Cayce referred to as Emilius. This is the soul who would later be known as Adam, the first man, and who would ultimately perfect his journey through the material plane in the life of Jesus. Emilius was not pushed into materiality. He chose to enter it as a guide and a savior for all the other souls who had become or were becoming entangled. He was the elder brother showing the way home. In the early stages of Earth's existence, the planet was populated by a diverse array of animal life. The souls, still existing in a more ethereal, non-physical state, began to project their consciousness into this new world. They were fascinated by the raw power and sensory experiences of the animal kingdom. In their curiosity and desire for sensory gratification, they began to project themselves into the animal forms, playing with the physical sensations of strength, speed, and instinct. They would inhabit the bodies of great beasts, soaring birds, and powerful sea creatures. However, this projection was not without peril. By identifying too strongly with these animalistic forms and their base instincts, the souls began to lose themselves. They became trapped. Their pure spiritual consciousness became enmeshed with the dense, instinctual nature of the animals. This mingling of divine consciousness with animal form, according to Cayce, resulted in the creation of strange and monstrous creatures, beings that were part animal, part human in their spiritual makeup, which may be the source of our myths and legends of centaurs, satyrs, and sphinxes. These were souls who had lost their way so profoundly that they had forgotten their divine origin entirely, becoming prisoners of the very forms they had sought to dominate. This was a critical crisis point. The souls needed a form that was perfectly balanced, a vehicle capable of expressing the full range of spiritual and material experience without being dominated by base instinct. They needed the human body. To provide a suitable and balanced vehicle for these trapped souls, a new form was created. The human body, as we know it, was designed to be the temple of the soul on Earth. It was a masterpiece of divine engineering, with a physical structure capable of interacting with the material world, an emotional body to experience the richness of feeling, and a mental body with the capacity for reason, choice, and, most importantly, the ability to reconnect with its spiritual source. According to the Cayce readings, this did not happen in one single location. To provide a diversity of experiences and environments for the soul's journey, the human form was projected into being in 5 different locations on the Earth simultaneously. Cayce identified these 5 points of origin for the 5 races of humanity. The white race appeared in the Carpathian Mountains of Europe. The yellow race emerged in the Gobi region of modern-day Mongolia. The brown race manifested in Lemuria, a lost continent in the Pacific Ocean. The black race originated in the upper regions of Africa. And the red race appeared in the land of Atlantis, a technologically and spiritually advanced civilization on a continent in the Atlantic Ocean. It is crucial to understand that in Cayce's cosmology, race has absolutely no bearing on spiritual superiority or hierarchy. These 5 origins were simply different entry points into the earthly school, each offering a unique set of environmental, cultural, and physical challenges and opportunities designed to foster specific soul lessons. The diversity was intentional, a way to ensure that the soul's collective experience would be as rich and complete as possible. Each race was given stewardship over its part of the world, with the ultimate goal being the same for all: to use the human experience to overcome selfishness, balance their karmic patterns, and reawaken to their true divine nature. The story of humanity, from this perspective, is the story of these 5 streams of souls intermingling over eons, each contributing their unique strengths and learning from their unique weaknesses, all participating in the same grand curriculum of spiritual evolution. This sets the stage for the great drama of human history, which, according to Cayce, has been unfolding for millions of years through legendary civilizations like Lemuria and Atlantis, and on into our recorded history. The entire process is governed by the twin laws of reincarnation and karma. Reincarnation is simply the mechanism of the educational system. A single lifetime is too short, like a single day at university, to learn everything one needs to know. So, the soul returns to the earthly classroom again and again, in different bodies, different cultures, different circumstances, and as different genders. Each life is a new course, a new set of lessons. Karma is the law of cause and effect, the cosmic ledger that ensures that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. It is not a system of punishment, but one of perfect, impersonal justice and learning. The challenges we face, the relationships we have, the talents we possess, all are connected to actions, thoughts, and attitudes from previous incarnations. The soul chooses the circumstances of its birth to place itself in the perfect position to meet itself, to confront the consequences of its past choices, and to have the opportunity to make better ones. This grand cosmic narrative, while fascinating, can feel distant from the realities of our daily lives, especially as we advance in years and look back on a lifetime of experiences. But this is precisely where Cayce's wisdom becomes most potent and personal. Understanding the soul's journey gives profound context to our own lives. It transforms our personal history from a random series of events into a purposeful, unfolding story of soul growth. For those in their later years, this perspective offers a powerful tool for reflection and integration. It allows us to look at our lives not as a book that is nearing its final page, but as a volume in a vast library, filled with lessons that will carry forward into the next. Let's explore how to apply this knowledge in a practical way. Number 1, understanding your life's tapestry. Think of your life as a great tapestry. From our perspective on the ground, looking at the underside, we see a chaotic mess of tangled threads, knots, and seemingly random colors. We see the struggles, the heartbreaks, the confusing turns of fate. But from the perspective of the soul, looking at the finished side, there is a beautiful, coherent pattern. Every thread, even the dark and painful ones, was necessary to create the final image. As you reflect on your life, try to adopt this soul's perspective. That difficult relationship wasn't just a source of pain, it was a karmic opportunity to learn patience, forgiveness, or strength. That career path that ended abruptly wasn't a failure. It was the soul redirecting you toward an experience you needed for your growth. The joys and the sorrows are not random. They are the curriculum you designed for yourself before you were born. By viewing your life through this lens, regret can be transformed into understanding, and resentment can dissolve into gratitude for the lesson learned. This process of life review becomes a sacred act of uncovering the hidden wisdom woven into your own personal history. Number 2, the purpose of relationships. According to Cayce, no relationship is accidental. The people who come into our lives, especially those with whom we have the most intense connections, our parents, children, spouses, and even our greatest adversaries, are souls with whom we have a long history. We are drawn together, lifetime after lifetime, to work out karmic patterns. That person who challenges you at every turn may be a soul you wronged in a past life, now giving you the opportunity to respond with love and understanding instead of anger. Your child may be a soul who was once your parent, the roles now reversed to teach you both a new dimension of love. When you understand this, your relationships are elevated. They are no longer just social contracts, but spiritual assignments. Ask yourself, what is the lesson this soul is here to teach me? What karmic debt or gift am I working through with this person? This perspective encourages compassion and patience, allowing you to see the soul behind the personality and to engage with them from a place of much deeper wisdom and love. It shifts the focus from what you can get from a relationship to what you can learn and how you can serve. Number 3, embracing your ideals. The Cayce readings place enormous emphasis on the power of ideals. An ideal is not just a goal, like buying a house or getting a promotion. An ideal is a spiritual lodestar, a divine quality that you choose to guide your thoughts, words, and actions. It could be patience, forgiveness, unconditional love, or service. As we age, the frantic pursuit of material goals often subsides, creating a perfect opportunity to focus on our spiritual ideals. Choose an ideal that resonates with you. Write it down, meditate on it. Then consciously look for opportunities to apply it in your daily life. If your ideal is patience, the universe will undoubtedly send you slow drivers and long checkout lines to practice. If your ideal is forgiveness, you will be reminded of old wounds that need healing. This is not the universe testing you. It is the universe supporting your soul's growth. By consistently aligning your actions with a spiritual ideal, you are actively cooperating with your own evolution. You are consciously choosing to build positive karma and to move closer to your true divine nature. This practice gives every day, no matter how mundane it may seem, a profound sense of purpose. Number 4, the power of service. One of the most powerful messages from the Cayce material is that the fastest way to spiritual growth and the balancing of karma is through service to others. As we move away from the egocentric desires that caused the soul's initial separation, we naturally move toward a desire to help and uplift others. This is the soul remembering its true nature as a companion and co-creator. Service does not have to mean grand, world-changing gestures. It is found in the simple, everyday acts of kindness: a listening ear for a troubled friend, a helping hand for a neighbor, a word of encouragement to a stranger. These are all potent forms of spiritual service. For those in their elder years, the wisdom and experience you have accumulated are an invaluable gift. Sharing that wisdom, mentoring younger generations, and offering the steady presence of your experience is a profound form of service. It is in losing ourselves in service to others that we truly find ourselves. It dissolves the illusion of separation and reconnects us to the unity of all life, accelerating our journey back to the state of oneness from which we came. Our journey to this material world was a detour, a long and arduous educational program born from our own desire for self-knowledge. We became lost in the curriculum, forgetting we were the students and that our true home lay outside the classroom walls. Yet, every moment of our lives, every challenge and every joy, is a part of the divinely orchestrated map leading us back. The Edgar Cayce readings provide us with a breathtaking view of this map, revealing that our existence is infinitely more meaningful than we could have imagined. We are not fragile beings living a single short life destined for oblivion. We are ancient, eternal souls, sparks of the divine, temporarily clothed in flesh, engaged in the sacred process of remembering who we are. This knowledge does not ask us to abandon the world, but to engage with it more fully, with greater wisdom, compassion, and purpose. It invites us to see the face of God in our friends and our enemies, to recognize the hand of karma in our circumstances, and to feel the eternal pulse of our own spirit beneath the rhythms of our heart. The journey home is not about leaving the earth, but about bringing the light of our true home into our experience, right here, right now.